You guys, I'm a fan of Dana. You know, I know he gets a lot of shit, but dude, I'm a fan of Dana. You know, like if I were to leave the UFC tomorrow, or me and Dana were to get in a big fight, like just like Trump, we're all just men, but I respect Dana. I respect what he's done, what he says.
Dana, it's normal. He's the best promoter in the world. There's a reason why he's the best promoter in the world. He's the best. I don't care. Don King, put anybody. I think Dana is the best in the world.
Really?
Can sell ice to an Eskimo. You know, he's just that good. He's very smart. But to be a good promoter, you need to use certain tools, to be tricky sometimes. And he did what he had to do for the best of his own interests. But I did what I had to do for the best of my own interests. So sometimes it conflict each other. That's why we get some arguments sometimes. But it's only business.
I wanted to say too, I forgot to talk about, I sat down with Dana when I went to the UFC. Just had a conversation with him. Danny was in there. Danny got to meet him. Dana's as like a different person. Like he's just a different breed of human. No cameras
he's like
around.
Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, he's literally a modern day gangster but he's doing like legal shit. He's like he's a cool ass dude.
I mean, I got nothing but good stuff to say about Dana. Though our relationship wasn't always the best in the beginning, but I got nothing good stuff to say because he's allowed me to create so much money, so much publicity, marketing, all this stuff, and he's helped me out tremendously, you know. So me personally, I'm biased. I'm not the right person to ask because I'm like a Dana candidate, but I'm also pay fighters more, you know. I obviously have always advocated throughout my career, now that I'm retired even more money for the fighters because it's a tough job. You shouldn't be in the top 10 having to fucking work at Walmart or something.
It's so popular these days for people to talk shit about fighter pay and all the rest of it. And as you're talking about there, Francis Ngannou and all this type of things, how many lives has the UFC changed? You know what I mean? And look at this industry, this post-fight careers that we have, the career that Ariel Helwani has, all these fighters, all these teams, and the sport is massive. It's a worldwide spectacle. And that is because of the UFC and because of Dana White. Now, granted, there might have been other promoters along the way, but these are the gold standard.
The media has taken this thing where it feels like everything is negative. They try to do anything they can to exploit somehow that Dana White is a scumbag and Dana White is fucking over the fighters and Dana White is doing this, doing that. Any moment, if he wasn't so freedom of speech. Now, he can take digs at you guys. At any moment, he could turn to every one of his fighters, send out notices and say, if you guys talk to this network, or this media source, okay, you guys will be cut. Has he done that? You're only worth as much as someone's willing to pay you. And if you're in the biggest promotion in the world, which is the UFC right now, is whatever Dana's willing to pay you is what you're really worth.
When Dana White starts bouncing checks, or he starts renegotiating after the fact, or he starts sending them late, feel free to yell and tell me what a scumbag he is. When he does everything that he said he would do in a market that created the price in an industry that's only going up. My first fight was in 2005. Fought Babalu Sabral, and I fought Babalu because nobody else would. Everybody was scared of this guy. My guy lost the fight. I got $2,000. I was thrilled to have it. But that was the minimum pay in 2005. It's not that much later. We're not even 20 years later, and minimum pay is 12 grand, 6 times what it used to be.
12 and 12 if you win.
Right, and another 12, but I'm just, I lost it. So it was 2,000 was the minimum pay. Now the minimum pay is 12 grand. There's not an industry out there that you can show me in 18 years is paying 6 times what it used to pay, but we're still going to give him a hard time. Go ahead. He didn't promote the fight. He didn't even watch the fight. You say he does business wrong. He does what he says he'll do. This is a sport that's so dirty, Michael, that the government had to come in to regulate it. So when you have a guy that came out, he's the first one to say you're being exploited. He changes the purse, he changes the contracts, he changes the numbers, and years later, you turn the gun on him, you're a scumbag.
But overall, Dana White has been very good for MMA. He has made the sport grow. And I used to say it all the time, back when, they took over. And it was Zuffa, and Dana was, he was a dweeb with a fucking horseshoe head. I was one of the ones that, dude, shave your head, man. If I had hair like that, I'm shaving that sumbitch. But back then I would say, Dana was getting on Southwest airline flights and going to places and putting videos in Blockbuster Video. Mm-hmm. He was doing everything he could to try to make the sport catch. People have a lot to say thank you to him for all that, because that eventually, he wasn't perfect. He made mistakes, you know, but eventually it was people like him and the hard work that he and Lorenzo that ended up making it all work. So,
like, some people from MMA community don't like him, but I have big respect for this guy. You know, like how many fights he make, like last 25 years, like 25 years, how many great fights he give for fans around the world, you know. Like old system, how Dana White create this system in UFC, and I love the system, you know. If you're the best, you're gonna fight with the best, you know, and the fans gonna enjoy.
I think it's I mean, Dana's on a different level when it comes to the celebrity, you know. Like Dana's a huge name. Dana is the, when he speaks, people listen. When he speaks, it is mixed martial art. I think Scott Coker does take growing Bellator seriously, but not as serious as Dana. I think Dana eats, sleeps, and breathes it. It is his identity. Yeah. It is his lifestyle. It is him. The UFC is Dana White, and Dana White is the UFC.
I'm such a big fan of the UFC, regardless of what people might think or have their opinions about the company. Because look, this is business, and it's cutthroat. It's Vegas. Fucking devil's asshole. But I want people who fight in the UFC, even when they come into the UFC, I want it to be like you're being drafted into the NFL.
I mean, yeah, Dana's just, he wants to be bigger than the NFL. He wants to be bigger than the MLB. That's just the kind of mentality that you want in your boss.
I also have nothing but good things to say about you. You're an OG of the fight game. The work you've put in over the years to get this sport to the each pinnacle. Honestly, like, you don't get enough credit that you truly deserve. Even this new ESPN deal that we got, like when Lorenzo bowed out, and I was like, wow, I wasn't unsure what would happen. And then with the ESPN deal done, I was like, you're a true pioneer and an OG of the fight game, and it's an honor to be up here doing business with you. I know we've had our ups and downs and our wild relationship, but it's an honor, brother. All right, thank you so much.
Dana was in a meeting with somebody in the other room. I can hear him yelling, and then I was speaking with Hunter, and I like both guys. Both guys are awesome. As soon as I was done, I got out of the meeting and I was, getting ready to leave. I saw Dana still on the phone, and he was. I wouldn't say he was heated, but he was definitely, something was going on. So afterwards, he hangs up, comes over to me, and he starts talking to me. He talks about my bad luck and things like that. But we start talking about Trump and UFC 287, and I tell him, honestly, I thought that was their best show. I looked at their production. I looked at the way they did all of their media, and just everything about UFC 287 was just awesome. I told him that, and he's like, yeah, it totally was. And then he's like, oh man, come in, I want to talk to you. I was like, all right, sure. So we go in the back, and he shows me like some media stuff he's doing. I had like such a good time with Dana. So that was kind of the meeting. And then I always tell people this about Dana. Like I may not agree with all the decisions he makes, but when it was COVID time, Dana kept the UFC open, which not only allowed me to feed my family, but I became a top contender. I became top 5.
I don't think nobody can replace Dana White. I don't think so. I mean, to be as good as Dana White was, I think someone can come and fill the hole. Maybe not be like Dana White, be better at certain things that Dana White. Maybe sometimes Dana White is not very diplomatic, so he could be more diplomatic. But maybe to be a promoter, to be intense, as unique as Dana White, there's only one guy, is Dana White.
Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta, back in the day, Dana always allowed me to be me, which is rare, because not a lot of people do. A lot of people try and check me. Don't say this, don't do that. Dana never said that once. He was, and I got to thank Dana, truly. He always believed in me, and yeah, as I say, never censored me. Always helped me, and he's been a good friend over the years.